of the morning to ya. Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day, one of my all-time favorite holidays. I broke out a ton of green for this. Let's rock. One moment, please. Oh, let me get, there we go. So, I don't even know where to begin. Sorry. Right. So I guess I'll do my low, my high, my act of kindness. I would guess my low would be, gosh, what would my low be? I guess my low is the fact that I got a really late start this morning, I suppose. Seriously, it's like almost 20 of 7 in the morning as this is recording, so this is really late for me. At least on a weekday. My high, well, do I even need to tell you what today is? But outside of that, last night, an awesome episode of The Masked Singer. It was awesome. I'll have to talk about how the formats work, because that's the thing that really, intrigued me the most. And my act of kindness was last night, I helped my mom make dinner. So that was very wonderful. So good morning and happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I am so happy today is a Thursday and not a Friday, because traditionally we have corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day, but because St. Patrick's Day usually falls during Lent for us, for Catholic people such as myself, if it was a Friday, we couldn't have corned beef and cabbage. Very sad. Believe me, it's happened several times in the past, at least in my lifetime. I can only imagine it's probably happened dozens, if not hundreds of times over the years. So there you go. So, last night, I visited my parents when I got home. It was wonderful. I had a nice little talk with my mom. Talked about some of the changes that I've been making. And honestly, personally, I feel like I made some pretty good progress. So that was always nice. But later that evening, we had, because here's the thing. I would have stayed with my folks a little bit longer, but they had a woman come over and talk about doing, actually, is it okay for me to talk about this? Gosh, I don't know. But let's just say there's something that's coming up around this time of year that they had to work on. And so someone came over to help them with that sort of thing, I suppose. So, there you go. But before this person came, we finally used up that leftover pork tenderloin. And, the word tender is in the name. And after finally, technically reheating it twice, it also was stewing in barbecue sauce in the slow cooker the first time it was cooked. Why not make pulled pork? Although my mom tried to use forks and shred up when it was still really cold, while it was still in the big pan trying to heat up. And I'm like, Mom, you're not really gonna get it to work. What you need is more barbecue sauce and something fluid with flavor, chicken stock or whatever. So that's what I ended up doing, and it was amazing. Seriously, even though it was tenderloin, for those of you who don't know, a tenderloin, whether it's a pork tenderloin or beef tenderloin, there isn't a lot of fat on there, and as we all know, fat is flavor. But I tell you this was so incredibly moist, the pulled pork that we made from this pork tenderloin, that you wouldn't have missed the fact that there was no fat in it. It was that good. And my mom had frozen tater tots, so we had tater tots. That's cool. Honestly, you would think that tater tots, and actually by extension, Fries would definitely be a mom food because my mom had cooked plenty of fries in the past. Not so much tater tots though. So I can't really classify tater tots as a mom food, but I do love tater tots. Maybe if we had tater tots more often, I mean, technically, here's the thing. As long as it's been prepared by my mom or a family member who loves me very much or whatever, anything can be classified as a mom food. So, in time, maybe tater tots will be considered a mom food. So, actually, my mom has done like those like sweet potato tots for my nephews. That works. And you know, why not? I'll put tots as mom food. Why not? I'll probably do like a very small mom food chronicle at some point. But anyway, you know, now we have to get to The Masked Singer, which was incredible. They actually stuck with the format they used. I didn't think that, because I thought they would probably go like the next group of like contestants, right? But they didn't. It turns out that they're still sticking with that first 5, well now 4. Actually, technically now 3, but I'll get to that in a second. That they started off already. So last week it was Mick Terrier that got eliminated. That was Duff Goldman. So now you had one representative from Team Cully, which was the Thingamabob. You had 2 representatives from Team Bad, be it that was the Ram and the Cyclops, and you had 1 representative from Team Good, which was the Firefly. Now, the way they did it was, after all 4 contestants, you know, did their thing, they had a duel based on the 2 contestants that got the lowest number of votes from the audience, right? So, when that happened, it was between the Firefly and the Ram. Like, is Team Good already going to lose 2 of its members? I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, in The Masked Singer, anyone can potentially be voted off. But to lose both members of Team Good that are representing Team Good this soon, like, that's a little nerve-wracking. But in the end, you know, Team Good prevailed, and it was the Ram who wound up getting eliminated. Now, this is actually really interesting because, and I never really touch upon, well, technically I have talked about this before, but I could stand to mention it more. When the Masked Singer is on, sometimes they have a celebrity guest judge, right? And in this episode, it was Eric Stonestreet. He's known for being on Modern Family. I never really watched Modern Family, but I have heard, you know, good things about it. And plus, you know, Eric Stonestreet, he comes across as a nice guy. Although, my experience with seeing Eric Stonestreet is, if you ever watch, like, the top 100 NFL players of 2020, I think is what it is. Yeah, 2020. Eric Stonestreet actually makes some cameos in Frank Clark's entry and Travis Kelce's entry. So there you go. He's so there you go. But Eric Stonestreet also hosts Domino Masters, which is on after The Masked Singer. And believe it or not, there's someone who was on there with him. Which, speaking of football, the person who was unmasked was Joe Buck. Now, I'm sure there's probably a bunch of people watching this who don't watch sports, but if you're interested in knowing who Joe Buck is, Joe Buck is a sports announcer. He's usually seen on Fox, and his biggest claim to fame is for the last 20 years, he has been, broadcasting NFL football with legendary Dallas Cowboys quarterback Troy Aikman, who, interestingly enough, is in the NFL Hall of Fame. What does the NFL Hall of Fame have to do with it? Well, every year, the NFL actually selects like a very few number of individuals who've been involved with the sport of football over the 100+ years it's been around. And in this year, Joe Buck got in because of his many years of broadcasting and announcing. So that's really cool. In fact, one interesting thing about Joe Buck is he has a father named Jack Buck who actually broadcasted Super Bowl IV with the Kansas City Chiefs winning their first Super Bowl. What's interesting about that is Joe Buck and Troy Aikman did the broadcasting announcing for Super Bowl 54, which had the Chiefs play in that Super Bowl, and the Chiefs won. So sometimes the NFL does a really great way of bringing coincidences together, But I'm getting sidetracked. Joe Buck actually sang really, really well. And I personally can't wait until next week, because next week there's going to be a double elimination in that same group of contestants. So again, representing Team Cuddly is the Thingamabob. Representing Team Bad is the Cyclops. And representing Team Good is the Firefly. So this should be a very interesting matchup. Honestly, I think that's what they're trying. I think they're going to have more than one representative from each team in these groups of 5. And they'll probably have the double elimination be between, 2 members, one from each of the teams or whatever. I don't know. But this format they have is definitely unique. They've never done this before. In fact, there's actually a lot of Masked Singer stuff that they haven't done, that they've done in previous seasons. I mean, there's no mentions of any wild cards. There's no one like Floodle Doo trying to give you even more clues about, who the contestants are. None of that. Interesting, actually. Personally, I'm intrigued where this is going to head. I mean, I think the rate that this is going, you're going to get about 10 to 12 episodes this season. That seems fair enough, 10 to 12 episodes, that's 10 to 12 weeks. So that would be pretty much mid-May, which would be a great way to, finish off, the last couple of weeks before technically summer doesn't really start until late June, but, by that point, I should be heading up to Cuckoo Lake, or preparing to go to Cuckoo Lake. So that's going to be awesome. I guess the only thing left to talk about is what my plans are for today. Well, it is St. Patrick's Day today. To be perfectly honest, I had a better green shirt than this, but hey, breaking out. Technically, this is the ugly sweater I wear around Christmas, but hey, it's green. It works, right? Oh dear. I love this holiday so much. This afternoon, I'm going to be seeing my nephews again. I'm going to be playing with them, probably at the park. It's going to be a wonderful, magical afternoon. I cannot wait for that. And then, when I get home, I have what's to me, one of the greatest mom foods ever that, my goodness, I wish we had more often. And that is, of course, corned beef and cabbage. I absolutely cannot wait for this. I'm looking forward to something really special. It's gonna be corned beef and cabbage and carrots and potatoes, and maybe I can convince my mom to let me do what I did last year and make me make some toast and Thousand Island for Reubens. Like, it's gonna be good. I think we're gonna be in for a real good, time. I can't wait. I'm super excited. And in honor of the fact that today is St. Patrick's Day, I would like to end this video with, actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm very homely this video for all of you guys watching. Joe for today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Remember, going on Talk. I'm always going to be here to land. I'm always going to be back. Take care and make good choices. And now, to close out this video, I would like to end this with an Irish blessing. An Irish blessing that I have said many times over the years. It's an Irish blessing that I would save for if I ever went to Andrew Einstein's grave or Sean Bertanz's grave, God rest their souls. And I would say the following. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, may the Lord hold you in the palm of his hand. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.